What'd you do for those shows?
Well, for the 2 shows that I didn't have anybody, I talked a lot.
Oh.
No, but basically what I did was I had a show where it was metaphysical gifts for loved ones.
Oh, wow.
It was right around the holidays. I couldn't get anybody to come that time.
Right.
So I just pretty much presented a bunch of gifts if you wanted to do something out of the box.
Yeah, yeah. Nice.
And I put it all out, including books, candles, and then I did another tarot class. So that was how I did it. But let's talk about you.
Okay,
because
let's do.
You are here today as our I've never had this done before. This is Nico Xiros. And he's going to introduce himself. But let me tell you that you guys, this is so exciting because I've never before, this is my first ever time having a real characterologist, face reader, palm reader, medium on the show. So go ahead.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it, Madison.
You're welcome.
I guess I'll just start. I got in the business about 20 years ago. I started off, I actually went for a reading, and March 12th, 1998, and I had a reading from a psychic, and it changed my world. I came into the metaphysic world. This reader was just right on, and after that, I started taking classes. I took psychic development for a year and a half. This is at the Learning Light down in Orange County.
Yeah.
And I did that for about a year and a half. And then I just started taking classes. I took one class in palmistry. I taught myself the rest. And then I took a couple classes in numerology, taught myself the rest. And the most recent is face reading, which it's incredible. Face reading is just, I love it because it's a science and you can't hide the face. You could, for astrology, you need the person's birth date and they're and for palmistry, you got to take someone's hand. But for face reading, the information is there. And I just love it because it's a science. And I just think that that it's a great tool to what I do. I work as psychic medium. I'm a spiritual counselor. I do this stuff. And basically I work with clients. My focus is finding their purpose. It's all about what you've come here to do. And that to me is really important. Why the $1 million question, why are we here? It's because it's really because about you.
So you guys, Nico, not only did he agree to come on the show and tell us about all the stuff he does, and he does a lot, and he even does something else, which is a total surprise because it's all layered together. And you can tell people about that too. But he stay tuned to this show because, as you said, this is something that you guys can do for each other. I mean, what you learn, what they take away from the show today. They can actually, I guess, just small learning
I'll reveal
tools.
one thing about face reading. It'll be a lesson, and I guarantee you will not look at faces. You will not look at faces the same way ever again.
And by the way, you guys, so we're going to keep that for like the end, so people will stay tuned in. But also, don't forget to send us a thumbs up. But you guys can call in anytime and. Maybe when they call in, when you guys call in, we can see your face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
So if you guys want a face reading today, call in.
Yes, absolutely.
Does it work through online? Or does it have to be like?
If I can get a vision of someone's face.
I mean, can you do it from photographs and online?
Yes, that's the thing. That people come to me with a photograph and say, what do you get on this? Part of my fictional characterology is when for script writing and stuff like that, they'll show me pictures of actual people that are in their scripts, meaning they could have been historical figures. I look at their face and I can tell you things about their face.
Wow.
It doesn't, whether it's a picture or it's a face, I can give you certain information. It's interesting with face reading is from 0 to 25, you have your parents' face. From 25 and up, you have your own face, and it's amazing how.
Wow, is that true?
Yes, because you carry.
But you still look the same.
You
don't.
No. Because what happens is on your face as you get older, certain experiences that you come into learning, they start to appear on your face. And the thing is whether it's your nose, your ears, your cheeks, whatever, it changes. You're not exactly like your parents, so your face will change into what. You've become in your life's experiences. So let's say your dad was a very stern person. Well, you may be the opposite, and that would indicate in your face. It would show on your face.
So that's why they call it characterology, because your character comes to morph into your appearance.
Yes, that's part of a system that I've created through your face and numerology and palmistry. Is that it really it's a profile of who you are, and that's what I'm saying. If I want to do a numerology, I got to sit here and I got to take down your name and your number and then figure it out. If I want to do palmistry, I got to look at your hand. I got to get permission. Face, I don't need permission.
Oh my
and
goodness.
The thing is you can sit there and going, okay, this is what I'm getting.
It'd be scary to go on a date with you.
No,
because if somebody goes on a date with you, you would like know everything about them in the first like 5 minutes.
I have to admit that's been a problem, because it's like I can pick up a lot of stuff and I get it intuitively. Okay, is this woman, is she right for me? I rely too much on it. And that's one of the flaws or the negative sides of.
But how could it be flawed if it's right?
No, no, absolutely. But most people.
She's like, give me a chance, give me a chance, and you're like, no, I don't think so.
But most people would look at that and frown upon it, saying, well, you're too picky, you're too this, and it's like, no, I know what spiritually, I'm not going to get involved with somebody if it's not
right, if it's not the right fit. Right.
So
so you guys, like, even for date, like, would you be able to give people tools at the end, like
absolutely,
just like a couple of
if they called in, like, let's say a woman, because you got to remember, most of my clientele are women, so I know women pretty well because I've been counseling them for 25 years, and so the thing is I can just look at their face and I can tell you, okay, you have these characteristics and you're strong. When you date somebody, when you marry somebody, and this is part of the numerology, is that you date that person for a reason. You date them because there's something that you need to learn from that person, and that person there's always a reason. So right off the bat, if I see a woman, I can look at their features and I'm going, okay, she has this type of personality, and if the person that she's dating or she's married to has the same kind of features, well, I can see that already, that there's going to be a little head-butting problem.
So do you actually say to yourself, like, this nose goes with that nose, and this
well, it can be, but you got to get the whole picture.
Right, of course. I'm kind of teasing. I'm trying to be funny.
But here's the thing is that with face reading, got to remember, it's just one dimension. So you have one dimension here, then you add the numerology, and then you add the palmistry. So I'm like I said, a spiritual profiler, is that I put things together. Face is the first step, because it's not all of that person. It gives off certain information. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. But I can get information. It's sort of like saying, well, I'm a Capricorn.
Right.
It's
Are you a Capricorn?
Yes, I'm a Capricorn.
Okay.
So here's the thing.
I would have thought you were a Gemini.
No.
You talk a lot.
Because you know what?
Do you know what your rising is?
No, yes, but get this. My whole thing is I'm a Capricorn with Leo rising.
Okay.
So I'm all about business, but we're talking about my favorite subject.
Yeah.
But when I'm by myself, I'm kind of a loner, kind of quiet to myself. I keep to myself.
That's Capricorn.
And yes. But the thing is, now we're talking about my favorite subject. And my favorite subject is you. It's all about the individual when I'm reading, because it's about figuring out where this person is going. I don't care about the past. I want to know where they're at right now and where they're going. And all the stuff that I combine gives me that. The face is the first step.
Now, Nico said to me earlier today, because I always have my guests come about an hour early, and we just kind of like shoot the, a little bit, try to figure out like what our points of reference are going to be on the show.
Right.
And you had said to me something interesting, that it's sort of like a puzzle.
Yes.
And I love how his mind looks at people and breaks them down that way.
Yes.
That's just really cool.
That's a great point.
People probably do that anyway, but they don't realize
they
they're
don't
doing
realize it.
Yeah.
And for me, what I realized, there are 7.5 billion people in this world. Not one person thinks, acts, looks, or talks exactly the same. So each person, like I said, is a puzzle. So someone who does the crossword puzzles, and how they try to get all get it all done, and they get all excited. That's how I am when I'm with the person, because when they come to me, it's like I've always had this curiosity about what makes a person tick. To me, it's a game. And to me, it's like, okay, I'm going to find out what this person is all about by the time I get done doing my counseling session with them. And to me, that is the quintessential of what they're here for. It's about your life experiences, what you've come here to learn. And I think that, to me, is that really all we have control of is ourselves. So one of the most important things that you can do for yourself is to learn everything that you need to know about yourself from a spiritual standpoint, not from the materialistic, which is where society has gotten to.
Right.
It's about the spirituality side. I always say this, is that we are spiritual creatures having a physical experience.
Mm-hmm.
7.5 years of religious studies, and that's what I boiled down to, is that it's about the spiritual aspect, but even though we live in a physical realm.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's, okay, I don't want to come back as Nico. I want to learn all the lessons I need to learn. And I know for myself, doing all these different things for myself, is that I'm here of service. I'm here to help people. And like I said, is that every person that I read for, I get excited because I know I'm gonna solve that puzzle. And the thing is what's great about it, it's about them. It's not about me. And I always say, like, if I was doing the reading, I'd say, this is between you and your maker, whatever you believe. Mm-hmm. I'm just a messenger.
So I have a question for you, because you talked about getting into this a little bit later.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if, were you just a really curious child? I mean, how you must have been there before.
Yes. I had some experiences when I was real young. When I was about 9, I got sick. And I remember sitting on a couch, and I remember looking up, and I look at the window, and I saw this spirit. And I went, what the? I was so, like,
how old were you?
I was about 9.
Okay.
And so I didn't have anybody to go to talk to about this. And that experience, like, put me on a path to, like, okay, I'm very intuitive. I can go into a room, like when I was in high school, I can feel the energy of people. And this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of a loner, is that I can feel the energy of who's good, who's bad. And that got me started. But really what got me started is in high school, I was a counselor. I went to a program in high school to counsel troubled youth in the middle school. I was a high schooler, and my counselor came and said, listen, would you be interested in counseling?
But you were in high school, and they wanted you to counsel like kids that were like 3.5 years younger than you?
Yeah, in the middle school.
Didn't that get you beat up?
No. But no.
I don't know.
You would think. But what it did is that's where I became a counselor. It really, all the stuff that I do, I'm a counselor, plain and simple. Yeah. All the things that are the face reading, the palm reading, those are my tools.
Yeah.
You know, when they say psychic medium, everybody gets all excited. No, those are just titles. Those are my tools that I use. I'm a counselor at heart. And that's where my experience of becoming connected to people and wanting to help people, and I was about 14, 15. And I basically went through a training program for about 3 weeks. I was the first male in my high school to go through this program. But that really set me on the course of helping people. And
right. So then the other stuff just filled in the gaps.
But you hit it. You're right. It did come. The metaphysical aspect came later in my life.
Yes.
Because all my life I had always been looking to religion.
Yeah.
And what I found is when I got away from religion, I became more spiritual. So my whole life is about trying to find God and all that. And when I had that reading, March 12th, 1998, it changed everything. You remember certain things.
I love how you know the date.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, was that a card reading? What kind of reading?
It was a psychic reading at the Learning Light in Anaheim. And I don't even know why. No one told me to go there. Just something led me that day, and I heard about this psychic fair, and I wasn't even into that stuff.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and I had a reading. I had a half-hour reading, and this psychic just blew me away. How did you know all this stuff? And she said, you could be doing what I'm doing. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, you're clairaudient. And I said, well, Claire, what? She goes, you hear things. I said, well, yeah, I hear.
You're like, doesn't everybody?
Yeah, exactly. And I said, you hear things. She goes, no, you hear spirit. I'm like, what you talking about? And that got me going. I was so pumped up at the end of that reading that 2 weeks later, I went back to her. She was teaching a psychic development class. I took her class for 1.5 years. And it just, after that, it was just gangbusters. It's like there was nothing that was going to hold me back.
Right.
After I did that, I took one class in palmistry, and I went, oh my God, I love this. And so this is the past life stuff. I know that I'm connected. I know. And so the thing is, those were tools. But it's not about me. It's about the individual, helping them find their path.
Well, it does. It sounds like you're just very, very curious.
Yeah. Oh,
and
absolutely.
You're looking for ways to fill in the gaps so that you can really know about other people. I think it's great.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing, that it's like I never run out of the puzzles, because there's always people. And what I love about it is that every person is different. So it's a different puzzle each time. Now, I've been able to build a large profile of all these hundreds and thousands of people that I've read for. And when I start seeing things, I can start piecing things. Okay, if they have this combination and that combination, most likely they're going to be probably this. Mm-hmm. But the thing is when you put it all together, I've got down what your strengths are. This is my whole thing about when I do it.
Yeah, I love how it's tied to purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
That's very powerful.
That's the Capricorn in me. It's like, it's all about business.
Right. Yeah. So Capricorns are the sign that kind of plods up the hill. They plod up the mountain looking for to make their mark.
Yes.
So you're allowing other people to get that through your readings, which is really helpful.
No, absolutely. And I feel,
sorry to interrupt you, but I feel I can remember when I didn't know what my purpose was. Yeah. And if you don't know what your purpose is, you kind of feel like you're stumbling around in the dark a little bit.
Absolutely.
It's a very uncomfortable feeling. Yeah. It's not something you can put your finger on. Right. It's like you just want some definition in your world, and you don't have it, and it almost feels a little bit painful.
Yes,
because you want an answer, but there is none.
Right.
So,
but here's what I've learned about that, though. This is my experience. Is that like I was telling you about the 7 billion people, no one is exactly alike. And this is my theory about God and the universe, is that your mother and your father, but that divine spark in you is God. And I always say God is an experienced junkie, because you know why?
Why?
Everything that you go through, God is experiencing it too. So here's the thing: 7.5 billion people.
That's so interesting. I love that. I love that point perspective.
So the point is that what's the meaning of life? It's about experiences, because you know why? God is always with you. That divine spark that's in you and me, it's already there. And the thing is the game that we play is, I got to reconnect with God. And guess what? It's already there. You don't know it. Getting goosebumps. So the thing is that's a running joke. I said, God's experience checking. Because think about it. The universe is constantly expanding and everything is changing, right? It's all about the experience and about your experience. So every time you experience something bad, good, God's experiencing it too. And that's what people don't understand, is that you are already connected. You're already divine. And my whole thing is like, I show that in your chart, in the reading.
Have you been talking to James Van Prague? I'm only saying that because he's the one who said that we're spirits having a human experience.
I've seen that quote quite a bit.
But I never linked it with, wow, like that does make sense that God is an experience junkie, because you think like, why is the world good and bad? Why is this polarization?
Yes, we'll get the next question then. What is the purpose of fear? What is the purpose of bad? What is it? It's the greatest teacher. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. We come from a place of love, which is God, the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, right? And so when we come here, how do we grow? How do we experience? Where are we part of love? So the other part, the stuff that goes bad in your life, is the greatest teacher, because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So so guess what? It's the learning experience. So bad is not necessarily good or bad. Right. But the thing is it's all of you. So like for example, when you see somebody that is like homeless or they're an alcoholic or something like that, I don't look at it as like, oh, poor them. I look at this, they've decided to go to the lowest of their experience and then work their way up. So guess what? They're warriors. They're spiritual warriors to me, because the bottom line is I'm going to win, because you know why? I use my intuitiveness to like, no, I don't want to go there. These people, I look at them going, they're going to grow. They're growing in leaps and bounds, because they're going from being homeless to whatever. And especially the ones that recover, they get out of homelessness, or if they're not alcoholics anymore, guess what? They become great teachers usually. And so the thing is you got to look at the life as a game, and how you play it is up to you. Well, I always say I'm a cheater, because there's certain things that I see that I'm going, oh no, I can't go there. And the thing is I learn at a slower rate. Those people that have those bad experiences, they grow in leaps and bounds. So pain is one of the greatest teachers. Yeah. One of my favorite sayings is, pain's inevitable, suffering's optional. And the thing is to me, that is like, you're going to have pain in your life. It doesn't matter.
Well, think about it. When I know with myself, and this is probably true with you too, the most painful times in my life are when I've done the most growing.
Yes.
I can really look back and say, wow, I was one person.
Yes.
That was a side of me, and I really evolved.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
And that to me, that's what. So fear, pain is a great teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we hate it, it's just that it's one of the greatest lessons. Because you already love. You already come from a universe of love.
Right.
And so, we have love, but all the other spectrums of fear and stuff like that come from, fear, anger, pain, whatever. Those are the things that we get our greatest lessons from.
I want to let it, this show is flying because you have so much interesting information. I want to make sure we get to everything. And I want to remind people that we're talking to Nico Xiros, and he's a characterologist, psychic medium. He will give you a way to contact him at the end. And this is Metaphysically Speaking with Mystic Madison. Please let us know you're watching. And also, guys, don't forget to call in, because if you don't call in and we don't see your face, then he's going to read me.
That's right.
Which, I'm happy to take your reading,
absolutely.
But this is a chance for you guys to get something.
Absolutely.
And I really do hope you read me. But
no. Listen, we're going to get to you. Don't worry about it. We're going to get to you. It's just that if we get one or two people come in, I'll try to do my best. Depending on how small, I need my readers.
Yes, it's tiny, but we can definitely do it. So don't be shy. Right. I also want you to tell people, Nico also works as a lighting designer. So I thought that was really interesting. And I don't know if you want to take a minute to talk about how you marry your two worlds. And you said something on your website about how lighting illuminates certain things and your work illuminates other things. And you were talking about that.
Yeah, basically what it is people sometimes refer to me as the quintessential light worker because
you are.
I'm a light worker, but the reason why is because I've spent the last 27 years in set lighting for the TV and film industry. So that's the physical realm of lighting. In the last 20 years, during the same period, I worked in the spiritual aspect. So I work both in the physical and spiritual aspects of lighting. And the thing is to me, we
should say illuminating.
Illuminating, yes.
I like that word.
Illuminating. And so the thing is it's a karmic lesson that I had to learn, because when I first got into TV and film, I wanted to produce and direct, and I did a little bit of that, acting and stuff, but I fell into lighting, and it just, Spirit was guiding me that way to learn the things.
But you really do it on both levels.
Yes, absolutely.
So it makes sense that it would translate into the physical world as well.
And what I do now, though, is I use the experience from the set lighting, TV and film, into my meditations. How do you turn up the volume, the illumination? I use the techniques that I learned in being an electrician. Okay, if I want to go from 110 to 220, guess what we got to do? Well, we got to expand the bandwidth, and we got to put more light through to get. So I use those terminologies for my meditations. It's all, when you're in meditation, it's about light. And so the thing is that's how I've learned. That's the karmic lesson of learning, is that how to incorporate.
How do you fit in with that?
Yeah. Here's the thing. In the set lighting, TV and film, I've worked as a gaffer, which is a chief lighting technician. I didn't care for it. A best boy. What's a best boy? Everybody's here. Best boy is the second in charge, and they're in charge of manpower and the paperwork. And so what the thing is I just work as a technician, because here's the thing. For me, I just want to go to work, and then I want to come home, because this allows me to do this work.
Yeah.
The spiritual work. To me, that is what I'm passionate about. And when I'm counseling somebody, I'm just as passionate, because I could talk about the subject forever, because to me it's everything. And people look at me, well, you're this big burly guy, I would think that you'd be in the bars on Sundays and Saturdays watching football. It's like, no, I'd rather be doing a reading, I'd rather be doing a meditation, I'd rather be doing something. For me, I want to be able to leave something to say I was here, and I not necessarily a legacy, but something that say Nico was here and that I contributed to my time here on the planet. And if it's helping people, which I believe it is, then I did my job. That's all that matters. And to me, that's why it's so important that helping people find their own passion. And really, it's about finding that the God side. So my classes that I used to teach are unlocking your spiritual potential. Because the bottom line is when I'm doing my reading, that's really what I'm doing, is that you have things locked up, client does, and I'm just doing this. I'm unlocking those things. And guess what? It's really unlocking God to say.
Do you do that on set? I mean, I know that on set you're probably, I'm sure
it's two different worlds. It's two different worlds. Here's the thing. And I learned this.
But are you looking at people and you're also analyzing them?
No, you know why? I love doing it when I first did it, but guess what? The lighting on the set is physical, right?
Yeah.
So when I started getting into the metaphysical end, I did a little bit. I started, I'd start reading people. Look at your hand. What I was doing is I was totally wasting all my energy, both on the physical and the spiritual while I was on the set. Do you understand what I'm saying? I would be so wiped out because spiritually I was wiped out because I was doing reading for people on the set.
Right.
And the physicality. So I went, no, I can't do this. Time out. I can't do this anymore. And I said, no, that's it. I'm two different people. When I'm on the set, it's Nico the electrician, but when I'm Nico the psychic medium, and like, it's a game on. Let's get this thing going.
Right. That's interesting.
And so my attitude is when I'm on the set, I'm like this. Okay, what's next? What's going on? Okay. When I'm doing this work, it's like, come on, let's go. Let's get this thing started.
So it sounds like you're definitely more excited about this
yeah,
work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm your cheerleader. I'm your coach. I do one thing good, and that is I sell you on you.
Mm-hmm.
That's my whole thing, is that it's selling you on you, and that you you have to find it yourself. But this is the greatest thing. If I was a friend and I did a reading for you and I was a friend, you would go, oh yeah, okay, you already
know me.
You know me.
Right.
So every person that comes to me, it's so exciting because it's like a clean slate. I'm going, oh, this is going to be great because I can do it without any interference. And that's what I love about when I'm total strangers. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I got a clean slate. I'm creating that profile. And to me, it's about unlocking. This is really important. Your strengths. Nothing I do is negative. It's always about the positive, mm-hmm. what your strengths are. It's like in Taoism, go with the flow, learning to go with the flow. Most people don't go with the flow. What they do is they lock up all their strengths, the things that they're good at. They lock them up. And what I do is I go in there and I just go, beep, beep. I mm-hmm. unlock those things. Mm-hmm. And I'm a total stranger. And it's like, it's a win-win because how as someone right. who doesn't know you, how did I get all that stuff?
So I also want to, can we touch a little bit on your medium abilities?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you mind talking about that as
absolutely.
well?
No, absolutely. That was interesting because I started out as a psychic and then the mediumship started coming in. I don't consider myself like a full-fledged medium that you see, like I'm a jack of all trades. I use both. I will do mediumship when I'm doing a reading, I'll do a mediumship if their spirits, family members come across.
Right.
And if they're so, got to get a message, I'll stop and I'll do the mediumship. Mediumship's my favorite, but it's not like my strength because I focus more not on so much the mediumship, but the individual and what they need to accomplish.
Right.
But I use it.
It sounds like you're more purpose driven.
Yeah. Oh,
like
absolutely.
You want to connect people with that.
But the thing about the mediumship is that I've trained with Robert Brown, mm-hmm. who is my favorite.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who he is. Oh, he's in English. Oh, he's great. I trained with him for about a week.
Uh-huh.
And then I took other classes and developed it.
Uh-huh.
I've had times where when I'm working because I started off at bookstores as a psychic reader down in Laguna Hills, Awakenings.
Uh-huh.
And one of the first readings I ever had was the manager comes to me and says, Nico, I have a friend here who her husband just passed away. Do you mind doing a mediumship reading? And my whole thing is I do a mediumship reading if it comes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But this was like
that's like the kind of thing you can't necessarily force, right?
Because
it involves. I mean, if this is all real, it involves the spirit actually being willing to come in. And I heard that's actually quite hard for spirit to do.
Absolutely. But the interesting about this, and this is what sold me on mediumship and spirit. You can't tell me that's not. There's no heaven. There's no next spiritual plane, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing this reading, it was incredible. I even go like, oh my gosh, when I did the reading, and she came in, she sat. Her husband had just had this lady's husband had just passed away 2 weeks previous.
Isn't that too soon?
Oh, no, I know. I will. I'm going, well, the manager comes up and says, well, would you mind doing a mediumship reading for such and such? And I went, okay. And the thing is I said, okay, sure. You hit it right on the head. Her husband was there, like, come on, let's get this thing going. Okay. So I started reading and at first you start to get a feel. Okay. I said, I see a lot of children around you. Do you have children? She goes, no. She says, but I'm a teacher. And right then and there, I'm going, okay, it's clicking. I know that I knew I was right on the path.
Right.
Oh my gosh. This shocked the heck out of me, this reading. And this is where I really, you go with what spirit gives you. This was not a test, but it was a confirmation. And so I started doing the reading, and I even picked out, like, you were up for a promotion, and this lady's just teary-eyed, just like in 15 minutes, she's like almost laughing, like, you were up for a promotion and you turned it down, didn't you? She goes, oh yeah, how did you know that? And she her whole energy started to change. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then I said, who is Gary? And she goes, no, I don't know any Gary. And then I said, okay, fine, we'll move on. And then I started to describe her husband. I said, was your husband a big burly guy, kind of like me? And she goes, yeah. And I said, did he play football or was he? Yeah, he was a football coach. I'm going, okay, thank you. And I'm getting this right. I'm describing this guy to a T. And I've gotten her down to a T too. She was a teacher. And I, in the middle of it, 30 minutes into it, I stopped. Like if I was reading you, I stopped and went, turned to her husband, the spirit. I said, dude, what is your name? And he goes, it's Jerry. And I almost freaked out because I literally, look at this.
This was new to you.
Well, the thing is, I could feel his energy. Her husband's.
So you thought you got the name wrong. You were saying Gary.
Yes,
Jerry, because it's hard to hear those differences.
So I sat, but here's the thing. This is what really freaked me out too, is that I could sense his energy, like leaning over and going and whispering, "It's Jerry." And I looked at her and I went like this, "Who's Jerry?" And I wish I would have said, "Jerry's your husband's name too, isn't it?" And she goes, "Oh, that's my husband." And I
couldn't she have told? I'm sorry. This is a great story, but couldn't she have said Gary? I guess she was so bent on Jerry.
But you got to remember. She's distraught. It's 2 weeks. Yeah, So, and the thing, I had her laughing at half hour, and then I went on and I said this. Listen, you got 3 cars too, don't you? She's like, yes. I said, your husband is telling me the 3rd one is the old one. You need to sell that. She goes, oh my God, I got it up for sale. And so the thing is, and I swear, this is like you can't make this stuff up.
No, of course not.
And so the thing is, like I said, I feel that there's an insurance policy that you haven't found. She goes, yes. She says, I just found it. And I said, I feel that you're like taken care of. I said all this stuff. I said, your husband sends you flowers. And I said, I'm telling you this right now. This was one of the greatest experiences for me, because when the minute she walked in, I had to give her Kleenexes. She was crying so much, distraught.
Right.
By the time she left,
she felt better.
She had let go of that, and she realized that this is part of life, and she was so happy. Get this, so happy. A month later, she booked me for a whole day.
The whole day.
Get this.
How long was the whole day? 8 hours?
It was 8 hours. Do you know why?
My goodness.
You know why?
She had all the people she wanted to look at.
She had all of she had all of her family members book me. So they had 2 hours each to book me.
Wow.
And you could, of course she was going to grieve, for a while.
Yeah,
but that pain was totally gone.
It was a different type of pain.
Yes.
Now I can guess, like now she missed him.
Yes.
But she was at a sense of peace.
Yes,
that
absolutely.
That there is no end, and that she will reconnect with him. That he's really still there.
Absolutely.
I like to think of it as people are on a trip and they're just not around us anymore, and we'll see them at the end of the trip.
Listen, absolutely. Listen, you know what? On Tuesday at 2:00, when you're sitting there and you're working, and you think of your mom or someone who's crossed over, that's just their way of saying, "Hey, dear, how you doing?" We still have a relationship with spirit. We just look at it; it's different. It's not a physical relationship.
But I think people can feel it. They'll get like chills.
When I get goosebumps, these goosebumps are not because I'm cold. It's because it's confirmation. Anytime you get goosebumps,
I'll go a step further.
Okay,
this is my own individual theory. I'd love to hear what you think.
Yeah.
But I think that when we think of somebody, we call them in.
Yeah.
And I think that when they get close to us, when they get in our auric field as spirit, they create an electromagnetic reaction in our body.
And what they do,
which makes our hair stand on end. And I'm getting it now.
There you go. So here's the thing.
Here, let's do fist
yes.
up.
No, but the thing is, you're absolutely right, because what's happening, this is my view, what happened, when you start talking like that, spirit comes within you. In that, and you have that connection. That's where the goosebumps come. It's their way of saying yes, keep talking, keep talking.
Yeah.
There's no reason for us to have goosebumps. When we're talking about
it's not very cold.
And
at
you know
all.
what? This is a story. This is like a story that happened. Like
like 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was like one of the first things. And so the thing is, I learned so much. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that came through. Yeah. I was like, but I really learned is that you've got to let go and let spirit give the message, whether you believe it or not. You have to do it.
You have to get out of your own way.
Oh, absolutely.
And put your ego aside and just be an open channel. That's what it means to be an open channel, because if you can step aside and let that message come through more clear without having your own judgments on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I give you one other example?
Yeah.
But this is more psychic. more than a mediumship. My sister and her friends, we went with the family to Hawaii, and my sister was like, "Okay, Nico, you got to read for my friends when we're there." And like, oh, okay, and it's friends, and like I know them, and I'm like, okay, gosh, oh boy, and so we started reading. I did the reading for her first friend, and I started to go, and I just looked at her and I said, "Are you pregnant?" She goes, "No." I said, "Are you sure you're not pregnant?" And she goes, "No, no, no." And I'm like, okay. I kept on going on, and I said, and I kept on it, like I swear to like 5-6 times, "Are you sure you're not pregnant?" And both finally, my sister and her other friend was like, "Nico, she can't be pregnant. She's not pregnant." I said, "Why?" She says, "Well, she has some women problems and she can't have a kid and blah, blah, blah." And I'm going, okay. And my sister and her friend were ready to lynch me because I'm going, I feel there's a kid. And I went on, so here's the thing. So I kind of stopped on her and I said, I went and I described her husband to a T. And I was like, "Is your husband does he like toys? He has a boat." And, "Oh yeah, I like that." And I said, "You want to have a kid, don't you?" She says, "Oh my God, it's everything." And I went, "You're going to have a kid. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have a Nico." My sister, she can't have a kid. I'm
right.
Like,
so how did...
I'm telling you, oh, this is the good part. So the thing is we get done with the reading and she's like, "Okay, right. I'm going to have a kid, and, I left it at that, right? This is the part where you got to let spirit go. You got to let them do their job. And then a lot of times you got to let it go. And you know what? That you did your job. Guess what happened 2 weeks later? 2 weeks later.
But I thought she had like female problems.
Well, guess what? My sister calls me up. "Dude, you're not going to believe this." I said, "Try me." She goes, "The whole time that you were doing that reading, she was pregnant." And I went, "What?" She goes, "She had a stillborn and she didn't know she was pregnant." And I said, "Oh my gosh, sister, I am so sorry," and stuff like that. I said, "Don't worry, she's going to have a kid still." And she said, and she sat there, and she was like, so she was kind of distraught, but she was happy in a way. Guess what happened a year later? She had a kid. She had.
But didn't she have those children's?
That's the whole point is. I stuck with my guns with what spirit was telling me. You're going to have a kid. Whether you adopt, you're going to have a kid.
So how was it possible if she? It's a miracle. It's a miracle, and that does happen.
Here's the thing: she had she couldn't have her period, and so she couldn't have kids. But she had a stillborn. She didn't even know it when I was doing the reading. So I was dead right on.
Yeah, you were right. So then you were right about the other thing.
And then after the 2 weeks, she found out what she had. She had had that taken care of. And a year later, she had a kid. She has a kid today.
That's amazing.
And so
it's a beautiful story.
It's all about when you do this work, you got to let what spirit use as a channel to get that information to you.
So Nico, we're like in the last little bit, and I want to make sure you have time to do my reading because I want to have the reading. We're waiting for people to call in. I don't know if you want to cover a few more things, but we have to talk about the book.
Yes.
I think we have to pick and choose what we could talk about.
Absolutely. Listen, I don't know how much time we have left, but I definitely want to tell you some things about your face and talk about books. So it's up to you. If we're running off, time and it's limited, let's do what you think.
Let's do that. So, well, tell us a little bit, I guess, before we go into my face. You just really quickly, we'll just touch on it. You did something with children. Maybe it's a good segue.
Yeah, that's a good subject. It's interesting. My mom passed away in 2009. Okay. And I was always really close to my mom.
Yeah.
And she came to me in a dream. She said, I asked her, I says, "Well, how are you doing? What are you doing on the other side?" She said, "Oh, I'm working with the children." And I went, "You're working with the children?" And because in this life, she was working with the elderly. And I'm like, "You're working with the children? What are you doing with?" And I said, "Look, Mom, as long as you're happy and stuff, that's great." So I left it at that. Then 6 months later, I had a dream. She came to my dream. She says, "Son, could you do me a favor? Can you start meditating again?" I'm like, "Okay, sure, whatever." And then about 6 months later after that, I formed a group and a meditation group. And it was a very unique, different meditation group. And it was called Crossing Over with the Children's Spirits. And so what it was a meditation that was using sacred geometry and using as a vortex for not just children's spirits, that was my focus, but spirits that are trapped in this realm. We got ghosts in this world. Well, the thing is a lot of them are trapped. They don't have a way of getting back to spirit, to source, right? So for 3.5 years, I had this group. We met once a month on the last Sunday of every month. And we use this meditation group, very powerful, because it's all, I use circles and diamonds, and it really elevated the meditation. And basically I was like the Santa Claus and these Uncle Nico, because we'd have children's spirits coming, and all the other people meditating, they would say, go to Uncle Nico. And I would meditate in the center, and the spirits, once they come into the center, they go, they're sucked back and they go back home. And what I realized is that there's a lot of spirits that are trapped in this realm. And it's just something that I have a lot of passion for, because in this case, it's different. Spirit is not helping me to help that other person. It's us, our group, helping spirit to do their job. So it was a different, unique perspective on this. And it's, again, of service, but service to spirit in a sense. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't
that's probably the greatest service of all.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And it was
then,
children. Yeah.
And then by doing that, you're also evolving, because you're becoming more open.
Yes. Absolutely.
Your vibration is shifting.
Absolutely. And that's a lot, with this meditation and me being enlightened, is that I've learned to expand my own light when I'm in meditation, just because of the physical aspect and the spiritual. And I'm just a beacon. I'm just like the gatekeeper. It's not about me. It's all about spirit's work. But I help bring this meditation is when I open up, we elevate our vibration, and spirit can come down low enough to come to this plane and help spirits.
One time I was watching the Emmys, and I actually heard Oprah Winfrey talk about, I think she was up for an award or something, and she went up and she accepted her award. And the thing that I really was admiring, and it really made sense to me, was she said to God, she used the word God, she said, use me. Just I'm here, just use me.
Yes.
And I really believe, not in an egocentric way or anything like that, but I really believe that is why she got so huge, because she knows her purpose is to let things come through her, so that she can spread whatever things that she's helping so many people on so many levels.
Right.
Even just with her show.
No, absolutely. And absolutely. And that's my whole point, is that I'm good at what I do, not because of my ego, because it's all about service to God. That's why I know I'm good. I have, part of the Capricorn, but the thing is, it's not about my ego. It's like it's about I'm good because
you made that very clear in the very beginning.
But so here's the thing: when I get done with a client, when we get done here, guess what? I did my job.
Yeah.
If I could help one person, in your audience,
one person who will call in, one person.
Then guess what?
But even if you don't call in,
but the thing is I did my job. And every time I meet a client and I do a reading, guess what? It's not about me. Thank God and your connection. My thing is God, thank you very much for allowing me to use my talents to help one of your children. And thank you.
I want people to know something, because I feel the same thing when I do events, and because I work as a tarot card reader, and people know that. I really do get a rush. Yes. I mean, it's not like I'm just of service. I mean, it's selfish because there is something I get out of it.
Absolutely.
When I feel like I hit on something and I help somebody, or there's a connection, or I get those chills, I feel this rush of energy.
Right.
And it's really it really gives back.
What it is, no, absolutely. But here's the thing: you hit it right on the head. But I have a different approach, or a different way of looking at that. Is that it is about you as the conduit, it's about you connecting. It's what I say is, it's your church, it's your religion.
Yeah.
And when I do all these charities, it's about spiritual tithing, is what I call it. I give back. I've done all these charities, and basically I give back. Well, that is a way that I can give back. And I grow in leaps and bounds spiritually, because guess why? I'm doing it out of love. I'm not doing it out of money. Charity is the best, because the bottom line is that you're freely giving your time and energy to whatever cause it is. I worked for the American Cancer Society a couple times. And this is the funny thing. They'd always look at me like, who are you survived by? And I went, survived by? What do you mean by that? Well, who in your family died? I went, nobody died in my family. Then they'd say, like, why are you here then?
Right.
And I would go like, why do I have to be connected in order to help people?
Right.
But the funny thing is, like 7 years later, my mom did die of cancer. But the point is that most of the charity events that I've done it because it's out of the love of my heart.
Right.
And there's no greater reward then you grow in your in your spirituality. That's your
No,
church. That's your religion.
there's definitely a charge.
No,
So
absolutely.
it looks like you're going to be reading me.
Okay.
And you're also going to stick around because
Yes.
even if the reading of me gets a little monotonous, I don't know how interesting I'm going to be to read. But the point is that you're going to unlock a secret that everybody
One
can use
secret.
at the end. At the
Yes.
end, you have to stay till the end, and we'll show the books. So
one secret.
Did you want to?
Yeah, I'll take a look at your hand.
I'll let you lead.
The reason why I'm looking at your hand is because the hand and the face, they're connected, and they give off certain information. And I think you're going to be amazed at some of the things that I tell you about your hand because they'll carry over into your face.
Okay, so, well, I'm ready.
Yeah, so are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
So your right hand is your present, your future, your left is your past. Don't care about the past.
Okay.
I want to know what's going on here.
Okay.
So if you wouldn't mind,
okay,
take your hand and go like this real quick.
Okay.
This won't take that
Sure.
long. Okay. All right. I got enough right now.
Okay.
So here's the thing. There are 3 types of personalities in palmistry that you won't read in a book.
You got enough just in that 2 seconds?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. This is what I love about what I do.
Everybody keep their hands away from Nico if you want to keep
away.
your
Oh my gosh.
secrets.
Yeah, just go like this. No, the thing is I've come up with the formula for myself in palmistry after reading for so many years that there is a pattern in the hand that gives me a type of personality everybody has. Okay. The 3 basic personalities is a business type personality, motivated by money and business. The artist, not motivated by money, but creativity.
Right.
And then the third is the mutt. It's a combination. It's a hybrid. Okay. Right off the bat, I can tell that you're a hybrid. One day you want to be in charge. One day you want to be creative, and you go like this. You go up, back and forth, back and forth. I'm a mutt, so I already know how you think. Okay. Here's the thing. We're the jack of all trades, master of none. Okay. We can be tough on people, but we're harder on ourselves. Okay. We like a whole smorgasbord of things. Okay. So this is the key for you. And this is just in your hand, just alone, is that the business person is motivated by money and their business. So when they're depressed or bummed, they sit there and they think of ways of making more money. Okay. The artists, what do? When they're bummed, I'm going to create my music and that's great. But for you and I, do you know what the key is for you and I? It's about experiences. And here's the thing.
I think that's true.
Here's the thing. This is the key, Madison, is that you going through your life, you start a project, you go a week into it, a month into it, you go, I'm done. You pull back and going, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try this now. I'm not going to do that. And we go through life this way, and we're going like, God, why can't I just find the thing that I want to do because you're not supposed to. And that's the key, is that you're here. It's about experiences. Money does not motivate you. Creativity doesn't necessarily motivate you. It's about the experiences. So here's the thing. In your life, in your work and in your play, we have to have balance. And guess what? When you're depressed or you're bummed, the creativity is usually down here. And I always say, you have to be in your work and in your play. You have to have balance. So guess what? We need to, in order to get out of being depressed or whatever, you start doing more creative stuff in your work and in your play. So you have balance. Okay. Guess what? That's never going to change. You're always going to be looking for experiences. And here's the thing. The toughest thing is we always say to ourselves, why can't I just finish this? Because you're not supposed to. It's about the experience. And if it's a week, if it's a month or whatever, your soul got what it needed out of that project. Okay. And so it's a way of not beating yourself up. So when you're bummed, you're depressed, your soul is saying, hey, it's time to go to the next thing. What is the next?
How does that tie into my face?
Oh, well, there'll be some things. I'll show you some things. But here's the thing. Just remember, you're not one-dimensional. This is one dimension that I'm picking off your face. But a lot of times certain things will coincide with each other. Yeah. But for me, it's like I said, I'm kind of building the profile. What did I look at your hand for? 5 seconds, 10 seconds?
Yeah.
I got enough. I got enough information on the hand. Your face will tell me more. So it's not, like I said, you're not just a Capricorn, or you're not just whatever it is.
Right, of course.
So the thing is, so your hand, this is really important because that doesn't change. So experiences in your life are very, very important. Mm-hmm. And they're always going to be. And it's what really motivates you to go do the next thing. Right. So we have a hard time is that, why can't I finish what I want to do? You're not supposed to. Right. I was just wondering, just to make sure we get into the face part. Well, and guess what? We're going to do that right now. Okay. So that people can. All right. So do you want me to give them the tip at the end, or do you want me to just read your face? Let's do the face reading, and then that way you guys will stick around. Yes, absolutely. Please stay here. You have 5 more minutes. You'll learn something. I trust you. You're going to learn one thing about face reading. Okay. So right off the bat, When I look at your face, I can definitely tell that your element of your face is wood. Now, in face reading, there are 5 elements: wood, fire, metal, and air. Okay, and one other one I'm forgetting. But the thing is, your face is wood face. So
Okay.
partially. So it's long and slender, right?
Okay.
So it means that you're very stoic. You're very set in your ways.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to tell you something, I have to prove it to you before you're going to believe it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So not everybody's like that, because your face. Now look at my face. My face is more rounded, right? So mine's more earthy. So I have earth.
Okay.
So the thing is with you, you're going to be very set. And also some things about your face tell me that. So the thing is right off the bat, I know that I'm going to have to have my facts to be able to prove what I'm saying to you in order for you to believe what I'm saying. I would also say that you can be skeptical at times. But so you also have the wood, but you also have metal. So your face is kind of going like this. So that's a little bit of metal. But here's the thing. You can be ambitious and driving, but you're not going to go through people to get what you want. Does that make sense? Because your jaw structure, the stronger the jaw structure, the more determined, more ambitious, more drive. Yours, you have it, but you have more of a rounded chin, and it's not quite as chiseled, right? That means this is about experiences. Oh, what did we talk about? Oh, your experiences. You see how it's tying in now? So the thing is for you, it is important because your experiences are important to you, but you're not going to go through somebody to get what you want.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, that's very true.
Very, very much so. And so right off the bat, we just showed that's the shape of your face. So everybody's face gives off information if you look at it, okay? Now with you got one of the things I can see is you got these cheeks that are just standing right there. This is about love. So you're a very loving person, okay? And I would also say that that you can be hard on people, but you're harder on yourself. Oh, I said that in the hand too, I think, didn't I? Okay. Now, do you see how it's corresponding? That's what I love about face reading. It confirms, because I usually would go to the hand a lot of times first just to get a brief look.
Yeah.
And then that'll confirm that I'll see it in the face. I go, okay, boom, I got this person.
Okay.
So the thing is also with you is that, would you also say that you're artistic?
Yes.
Very much so. Certain things on your face. I'm not going to tell you where, but you're something tells me that you are artistic. Makes sense? Also, I could definitely see that in public that you're a very kind person, okay? And you usually don't let stress get to you, or you release it. You have a way of releasing your stress.
Actually, I need a little bit more of a way of releasing stress, so maybe I'm still working on that.
No, and here's the thing. If you had more stress in your life, you would have more wrinkles. A lot of times, the same thing in the hand. The more lines you have in your hand, the more worry or more activity. It's the same thing with the face. Okay. So the thing is but the bottom line is that you definitely have a kindness to what you're doing. You have the chiseled stuff, but it's like it's
soft. It sounds like you're saying it's softened.
It's earthy. It has earthy.
Well,
that makes a big difference. Okay.
Yeah. Now, do you think people will do this subconsciously on each other? Like if you see somebody who's like their face is really angular and maybe they're really chiseled, that you would think that could be more of a colder person, whereas people
absolutely. And here's the thing, you know what? And you said this earlier. I don't want to be in judgment, but I need to make a certain calls on what that means. If you look at the different books, they'll say that when you have someone that's chiseled jaw, it's like whoa.
Yeah.
Now another face reader would say, well, I wouldn't go that far. I would think. To me, this is my own experiences, because everyone that I've known that have chiseled features, these are very, very ambitious. They're ego and I'm going to get what I want. And the thing is when you have that, it's like, you know what, these guys, you kind of have to watch, because they'll go through you to get what they want. And it's like, okay, well, let's back off here a little bit.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But the thing is you have part of the metal. Most faces are not just one element. Normally there are 2 or 3 elements. You have 2 elements. You have the wood and you have the metal. Okay. So it tells me that you can be ambitious, but you're also artistic. I definitely say that you're skeptical at certain things. Okay. That's in your face. You're very generous. I can tell that you can be generous with your time, probably. Do you like to laugh, would you say?
I hope so.
Well, put it this way. There's something in your face, like right on your, that tells me that you like to laugh. See, the lines and the things they all have meaning in your face. Okay. With you, turn your face a little bit to the profile.
Okay.
Okay. So here's another thing. I can tell that you go with the flow. Okay. Meaning you're not the type of person like when you're in a group and someone says, hey, let's go over here. you're not really that person. And you're not the person that goes, oh yeah, sure, I'll follow you. I'll go wherever you want. You kind of go like, okay, yeah, we can do that. Does that make sense?
Oh God, definitely.
Right. Well, guess what? Something about one of your.
So what was the thing that you were going to tell us that was
now reveal now?
Well, baby,
okay.
I'm interested.
This is one of the things I teach in my class, face reading. And to me, now you're probably never going to look at another face the same way once I tell you this. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
So here's the thing: the face can be broken down in many different ways. And, and mine is Chinese face reading. There's 6 different types, but mine is Chinese that I learned is that you can break the face down into 3 different zones. You got 1 zone, 2 zone, and then 3 zone. On everybody's face, one is larger than the other.
Oh.
So they give off information.
Interesting.
So right off the bat, so with you, I got, the elements, and now I got the zone, which you're very good at.
Okay.
So looking at your face, I would definitely say the center part right here is the biggest part.
That's what I would think.
I would think so. Guess what that is? You're the implementer. You know how to get things done. If you were working for me, I'd go, Madison, here, take care of this, would you? Oh, absolutely. Let's go over here. Let's do this. These people are like the do-getters. They just get things done. They know how to, and they're implementers. Okay.
Okay.
Look at my face. I'm the opposite. Look at this part is smaller. This is bigger and bigger. So the thing is I'm not an implementer, and I never have been.
So what does it mean if the forehead is the biggest part?
It means that you're a thinker and you're a philosopher.
Okay.
And think about this. This is something I like to share, is that in Lilia's book, she goes, you don't see a lot of bald homeless people, because bald people tend to be more ambitious, more driven, more hard worker. And think about it. It's like, you know what? I can't remember when I saw a bald-headed homeless person. To me, it's the thinker. Like the sculptures, the Greek and Roman sculpture, they're all bald. You ever notice that? They're all receding hairline.
I guess I know that women. I know that there's those paintings of people in the 1800s or 1600s where they shave part of their hairline.
Right. Well, here's the thing.
I know those.
Here's the thing. No. If you look at the Greek sculptures of like Aristotle,
right,
they're all thinning up here.
I'll have to take a look.
Guess what? These people right here, they live in here. They're philosophers. They're the type of person that when you ask them a question, hold on a second, let me take some time to think about that, and I'll get back to you. That's what those people.
So you literally, when you look at a person's face, you can do this division where you draw a line.
It is.
Now, what about if their bottom is the biggest part?
Emotional.
They're more emotional.
So for me, I'm more emotional than probably anything. I have it here and I have it here. Now, it can be both, but normally,
or at least you think emotionally.
Yes. Well, yeah. I do. I'm philosophical in a lot of things, but my friend Janet, who recently said, "No, Nico, you're the 3rd zone. You're the emotional, and all this fleshiness, it's earthiness. So the thing is, no, already, you're not going to look at other people. When you see people like someone like me, you're going to go, oh, that person is emotional, or that person is a thinker.
Right.
Do you think that you have an advantage now when you meet people? What you can get off right off the bat when you're meeting them? So here's the thing. If you meet somebody, they have a big forehead and they're thinning, you're going like, the philosopher, how are you doing? You know how to approach that person in a philosophical, and how you deal with them. So what do you think that we should be doing here today? If it's like you, the middle of the 2nd zone, it's like, so let's
get something done.
Let's get exactly. So here's the thing. You'll never look at another face the same way, because if you remember just that, that's a tip that can benefit you no matter what industry that you're in, whatever type of job, because people take face reading because they want to have a better understanding of their family and their friends, co-workers, or whatever it is. Yes. And so the thing is it's about taking whatever you can in face reading and using it.
Do you want to share?
Yeah, we can share these.
Because I had 2 books.
So here's the thing.
Just in case you guys are interested, and also Nico's available, you can actually connect with him too.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. Like I said, I taught myself face reading, and I learned from this book right here first. This is Lillian Bridges. She is the foremost face reader in, I think, the world. A lot of the friends, teachers are trained with her, and she's very how's that?
Bring forward.
Oh, forward?
Yeah, well, you've also told them the name.
Yeah,
so.
and the thing is this is the number one book. This to me is like,
because I was going to show you my book, but it doesn't sound. This is just something I picked up once at the Psychic Eye, The Power of Face Reading, but it's probably not so technical.
Yeah, and the thing is like,
and this is by Rose Tree. You can't forget that name, Rose Tree.
No. This is another one by Barbara Roberts. She's another great reader. She's out of San Diego, and her book is very, very easy. It's very basic to understand, and
with like drawings and illustrations.
Really, what it's about is memorization.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I always tell people, I'll show that one too. The thing is when you learn about face reading, the first thing you learn is your own face. Because here's the thing: when you learn certain characteristics about your own face, I guarantee you, when you see somebody out in public and they have that same mark or that same thing, you're going to go, oh, I know what that person's all about. Because if you share the same, jaw structure, the nose, you're going to go, okay, I got information on that person. That's what face reading is so valuable, is that you can't hide that.
Okay. And
this is the last one. This is probably
called Amazing Face Reading.
This is probably probably an introduction type of
who's that one by?
This one is by Mac Fuller, and it's a good book, but this one is more like medical. She goes around the world teaching this,
and she's like a Chinese herbologist. You said
she is a Chinese yes,
like a Chinese doctor.
Yes, she's yeah. And she teaches at medical conventions and all this. She's the best. Lillian Bridges, she is the best person. One of my best friends, she trained with her, and now you can't really even touch her because her classes are like so much to get certified. But to me, if I had to do this all over again, I was starting out, I definitely do face reading, because that's the most valuable tool. That's like it's there.
Yeah. So okay, guys. So you just heard it from Nico Xiros. Let people know how they can connect with you.
Okay.
Too.
I definitely can be reached. I have an email that they can reach me at, and it's Nico. That's Niko at Nico Xiros Xiros.com. That is my email. Again, that's Nico at NicoXiros.com. And you can email me, and I'll get back to you. And I also have another website. I have a website called Fictional Characterology. I know it's a long title, but
it's a great title, though.
It's www.fictionalcharacterology.com. It's the other work. It's character building, and I work with writers and producers about working on your character. So everything we talked about, I've taken that and I put it into fictional characters. So if you're a writer, I can tell you things about your character that you don't even know about yet. So this is a whole new approach to writing, because one of the things, their problems that they're having in TV and film is that they're having a trouble finding original scripts, original characters. You notice how they're rebooting all this stuff?
Yeah.
Guess what? They're having it because your audience is more sophisticated. They're face reading the characters. Right. And my whole thing is like, no, let's sync the faces to the actor, to the part that they're playing. So it's a whole different.
That's fascinating.
It's a different.
That's really cool that you're doing that.
Yeah. So the thing is I've already had a couple meetings with some producers and some shows, but I also work with graphic novels. I work with book authors. I work with gamers, people that are doing games, anything that has to do with building characters. And basically what I do is I sit down.
From the outside in.
No. That's the opposite. When most writers, they build their characters from the outside and then they go in, I go from the inside out.
Okay.
So that's the thing that's different, is that, if you're a writer, this is Bob Smith, whatever, and he's divorced. And no. I start from what's going on with the person from the core and then work your way out. And it's totally unique. It's different, and it's taken a while to get it going, but I really do think it's going to be the norm, because they just can't find scripts. They're regurgitating the same movies, TV shows, and characters. And that's just like, because they're having your audience is more sophisticated. Talk about face reading. Your audience looks at the characters and go, that person's not believable. Guess what? I can help, because I can hook up your actor with their face, with what their part is. That is huge. I think that is big.
Wow. So anybody who is also a writer, if you're getting involved in scripts and you want to flesh out, I guess is a good word, flesh out your characters.
Yes.
Nico's available.
I'm the dude.
Anyway, I guess we should say goodbye.
Adios. Adios.
We're saying goodbye for today. Thank you again for joining us with Nico Xiros.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad you came.
Have a blast here. It's
good. I'm so glad. So. Next week I have somebody coming on who works with Twitter, and we're talking about, it's funny with you, we're talking about the film industry and how things are changing in script and stories and with characters. And we are going to be talking about the news and how Twitter is changing information and communication.
Excellent.
So we're covering everything.
I'm going to tune into that.
Yes. Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys.
Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'll see you here next Saturday at 3.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Nico. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.